Mysterious scoop marks found under the Unfinished Obelisk in Egypt. The Unfinished Obelisk in Aswan, Egypt, stands as one of the most captivating mysteries of ancient engineering. Lying partially detached from the granite bedrock, it offers a unique window into the quarrying process used thousands of years ago. Estimated to weigh approximately 1,168 tons, this massive structure surpasses the size of any other known obelisk ever successfully erected in Egypt, the largest of which weighed just over 500 tons. While it remains rooted in the bedrock due to a fatal crack that halted its completion, it raises profound questions about the tools, techniques, and knowledge possessed by the ancient Egyptians. Aswan, renowned for its rich granite quarries, served as the primary source of this hard stone for many of Egypt's iconic structures. Even as far back as the time of Ramses III around 1170 BC, the quarry was under structured supervision, such as by a man named Hori. However, granite from this quarry was in use long before this period. It was employed in the construction of various parts of the Giza Pyramid complex, including the 70-ton granite beams found in the King's Chamber of the Great Pyramid and in numerous columns, temples, and sarcophagi throughout the region. Curiously, advanced dating methods such as optical thermoluminescence have pushed back the origin of the granite casing stones used on the Pyramid of Menkaure, suggesting they may date from as far back as 3590 BC. This significantly predates Menkaure's reign and even the founding of Egypt's first dynasty. Such findings imply that the Aswan quarry was active long before previously believed, altering long-held assumptions about the timeline of ancient Egyptian civilization. The most intriguing aspect of the Unfinished Obelisk lies beneath it. The floor of the trench carved to shape the obelisk reveals a series of large, curved scoop marks. These impressions are unlike those expected from primitive hand tools. Traditional explanations involve pounding granite with diorite stones, diorite being one of the few materials harder than granite. Egyptologist Mark Lehner and other experts have attempted to recreate the process, estimating it would take many months of continuous labor to release such a structure. Engineer Christopher Dunn, however, calculated that the labor requirements, along with the limited working space, suggest an even more daunting scenario. These scoop marks have ignited speculation among engineers and alternative researchers alike. Dunn and others have posited the possibility of ancient advanced machinery being used, perhaps akin to modern industrial stone-cutting tools. The curvature and consistency of the marks bear resemblance to mechanical scooping rather than random pounding. Some researchers propose that vibrational or sonic technologies may have been utilized, methods which remain theoretical to modern science but are gaining traction in fringe research circles. The very precision and scale of the obelisk, combined with its unfinished state, leave behind an unfiltered record of what might have been a once common yet now lost technique. Transporting the obelisk, even if it had been successfully removed, would have been a Herculean feat. The logistics of lifting and moving a 1,100-ton block of stone remain uncertain. Some obelisks from the same quarry were later erected across Egypt and even in distant lands such as Rome and Paris, adding further mystery to how such transportation was achieved. Theories range from immense wooden sleds and wet sand methods to anti-gravity or levitation technologies supported by sound. Despite conventional academic resistance, the site challenges visitors with its raw honesty. Unlike polished temples and restored monuments, the Unfinished Obelisk shows an interrupted process, one that opens the door to interpretation rather than conclusions. It allows scholars, engineers, and independent researchers to witness evidence that defies easy explanation. Whether these curious tool marks were made by long-lost techniques, misunderstood manual labor, or forgotten technology, their presence suggests that the story of ancient Egypt is far from fully written. The enduring mystery of the Unfinished Obelisk is not just in its size, but in what it reveals. As one gazes into the trench and sees the parallel grooves etched into solid granite, a feeling of awe emerges. If this was accomplished without advanced tools, then the ancient Egyptians possessed a level of ingenuity and stamina that exceeds modern comprehension. If it was done with machinery or unknown energy-based methods, then it opens a new chapter in understanding human history, one that hints at forgotten sciences and civilizations capable of remarkable feats. Ultimately, the Unfinished Obelisk of Aswan remains one of the most compelling relics of the ancient world. Giant finger found in Egypt. In 1988, adventurer Gregor Spory discovered an enormous severed digit in Egypt. He was 33 years old when he took a vacation to Egypt to study the cosmic energy of the Great Pyramid of Giza and discover shipwrecks. Spory was asked to meet Najib, the offspring of tomb robbers, when he got to know the barman at his Cairo hotel. In 2012, Spory presented his experience to the public and stated in an interview that it was in an oblong container and smelt musty. He said that when he first saw the giant finger, he was completely taken back by it, but was told that he could handle it and take photos of it. He said that in order to give context to its size, he placed a bill next to it, adding that a layer of dried mold coated the broken finger. Gregor Spory claims that in addition to the finger, the tomb robber who discovered it also possessed an X-ray and a certificate of authenticity dating back to the 1960s. Following his departure from Egypt, Spory was curious to learn more about this amazing artifact and the location of the remaining portion of this enormous creature. He was driven to study more about Egypt and went back there in 2009. Unfortunately, all evidence of the weird finger that has scientists and experts scratching their heads has disappeared along with the elderly man who had let Spory take images of it. All that's left now are these few astounding photos and myths about creatures that once coexisted with humans in the far past. Professor Frank J. Rooley, an expert in the study of mummification, stated that the finger possessed human-like bones and joints, but with noticeably thicker walls. Dr. Benecki concurred, but proposed that the digit originated from a patient with macrodactyly, an uncommon disorder characterized by excessively huge extremities, brought on by expansion of bone and tissue. Gregor spoke with a number of other scientists who agreed that the finger appeared genuine, but they thought it might have something to do with human gigantism, as they didn't agree that this belonged to a giant. Since then, Gregor has continued his research and published a post on his website explaining why the finger could not be a case of macrodactyly. In 2009, he went back to Egypt in an attempt to find Najib or any information pertaining to the finger, but his search proved unsuccessful. He continues to believe that the enormous finger he was holding in Najib's home nearly 40 years ago actually exists. Barisa, a child prodigy, was born in 1996 and is also known as Little Boris. According to his mother, who is a doctor, she recognized her son's exceptional nature when he was able to hold his head up without any assistance, a mere 2 weeks after his birth. According to her, he commenced speaking a few months after his birth and was capable of reading, drawing, and painting by the age of 18 months. When Barisa, at the young age of 2, attended kindergarten, his teachers were immediately impressed by his exceptional writing and language abilities and his impressive memory skills. This left a significant impression on his teachers, who could hardly believe the young child's remarkable abilities. The young boy has insisted on multiple occasions that he used to be a pilot from Mars and had traveled to Earth. Barisa's parents maintain that they didn't educate their son about space as a youngster, yet he would frequently converse about Mars, planetary structures, and extraterrestrial societies. According to reports, his infatuation with space became his primary interest, and soon after, he began proclaiming to have been born on the planet Mars. According to researchers, he was an introverted young man who exhibited intelligence above the norm. He asserts that there are still many unexplored mysteries on this planet, citing the Great Pyramid of Giza as an example of a structure that conceals valuable insights. Barisa claims that once the Sphinx is opened, using an unknown mechanism located behind its ear, human life will be transformed. The exact details of this mechanism are unclear to Barisa. Barisa elaborates that the incident on Mars was a result of a nuclear conflict among the inhabitants of the planet. According to him, a small number of people managed to survive and subsequently constructed shelters for protection while simultaneously developing new weaponry. According to the boy, Martians inhale carbon dioxide, and in case they visit Earth, they would require pipes filled with this gas to exhale. Barisa, despite experiencing a significant nuclear disaster in the distant past, Mars is said to harbor a community of extraterrestrial beings. He asserts that there are still many unexplored mysteries on this planet, citing the Great Pyramid of Giza as an example of a structure that conceals valuable insights. Barisa claims that once the Sphinx is opened, Using an unknown mechanism located behind its ear, human life will be transformed. The exact details of this mechanism are unclear to Barisa. Oddly enough, many have pointed out that there is a mysterious hole that was mysteriously sealed up in the Sphinx's head. The Great Sphinx of Giza, commonly known as the Sphinx, is a grand limescale structure in the Golden Giza Desert of Egypt. The statue is of a reclining sphinx, a mythical creature that combines the head of a human with the body of a lion. The Sphinx is seen as a dangerous, merciless creature in Greek mythology. In Egyptian mythology, however, the Sphinx is a slightly less cruel creature. Unlike the Greek Sphinx, the Egyptian one is firstly male, and secondly is described as more benevolent than the Greek Sphinx. However, they are both thought to be extremely strong and guarded the entrance to temples in ancient times. Today, the Sphinx is a tourist attraction more than anything. Such an incredible architectural feat naturally draws a lot of attention, and historians and researchers have spent years delving into the history of the Sphinx. Naturally, this leaves various unanswered questions. The first modern archaeological dig of the Sphinx was undertaken in 1817, but it was some time before that it had been visited and captured in painting. Around 1798, French painter Vivant Denon painted a picture of the Sphinx, but when it was finished, critics noticed something a little strange. Denon had painted a man being pulled out of the head of the Sphinx. Two figures were helping a third out of the cavernous head of the statue, which had been painted side on. Now, you may wonder whether this was simply a matter of imagination. Perhaps Denon had wanted to add something a little different to the painting. But of course, nobody knew for sure, as it was the 18th century, and the beauty of both aviation and drone imagery had not quite been invented yet. However, in the 1920s, aerial photography had become possible, and lo and behold, what appeared on the Sphinx's head? A hole, big enough for a man to fit through. Naturally, this made Denon's painting all the more interesting. It appeared he'd actually seen people climbing out of the Sphinx, which begged the question, who was in the Sphinx, and what were they doing? Not a lot is known about the history of the Sphinx, or at least there isn't a lot of definitive knowledge, but researchers have noticed that the head of the Sphinx is made from different materials to the rest of the statue. The head appears to be made out of a man-made substance, rather than limestone, hence the darkness of the stone of the head compared to the body. Furthermore, the Sphinx's head has hardly eroded and appears smoother than its body. This again points to the idea that the head was somehow interfered with, maybe long before any Western peoples even knew of its existence. But this still doesn't answer the question of why those men were in the head of the Sphinx. One thing that is known is that restoration work has been done on the Great Sphinx. Something to note, though, is that at the time, and as mentioned by Tour Egypt, systematic research on the water table, pollution, and on the properties of the stone and mortar were undertaken. They note, though, that for some unknown reason, these discoveries were not applied when the restoration work was being carried out. It's been theorized that the hole in the head of a sphinx actually led to an ancient underground chamber, which then joined up to more underground chambers beneath the Great Pyramids. This secret city, as it was dubbed by the mainstream media, was allegedly found in March of 1935. Newspapers even covered the topic, and it was speculated that this discovery would have gone down in history as being one of the greatest. However, not one Egyptologist or researcher commented on the findings. It was almost as if every researcher forgot about these initial discoveries. There was complete silence from those studying and working alongside these structures. Back in 1987, a Japanese research team from Tokyo's Waseda University began an extensive underground survey of the regions surrounding the Great Sphinx statue, utilizing groundbreaking technology at the time known as the electromagnetic sounding survey radar, in an attempt to better image the sunken regions of the Sphinx statue. Under the direction of head researcher Sakuji Yoshimura, the team got some of the most accurate 3D rendered images of the statue ever seen, with a strange revelation that no one had seen coming. For some unknown reason, the Japanese survey team discovered an extensive system of cavities and tunnels inside and underneath the Great Sphinx monolith that were believed to have been previously undiscovered. According to the team, south of the Sphinx was a hollow tunnel believed to have been 2.5 meters wide and 3 meters tall, connecting two chambers, a small and large chamber that appears to connect to additional tunnels that stretched north, south, and southeast of the Sphinx's direction. Portions of shafts were found in unconnected areas beneath the Sphinx, with additional cavities found inside the structure of the Sphinx and beside the body of the Sphinx, unconnected to the tunnels beneath the monolith. None of these findings have been pursued after the survey, with many denying the existence of the tunnels and shafts, despite the mountains of clear imaging evidence gathered under the direction of lead researchers. The frustrating thing about this is that there's no conclusion to the mysterious hole seen in the Sphinx's head. We know it was there as we have photographs and paintings, but as of right, only theories can be put forward for why it was sealed up. The ancient Egyptians have filled history with spectacular cultural offerings, from the pharaohs to the pyramids to the Great Sphinx itself. When we as a race discover something that old, it's only natural to begin to wonder whether there is a little more to these beautiful pieces of history than the accepted truths. Who knows what really lurks in the mysterious ancient catacombs beneath the Sphinx? Perhaps one day we might find out. Until that time, though, we can only put forward our theories as to why these chambers have been kept a secret from the public. In the annals of ancient history, few figures loom as large as Queen Nefertiti, the great royal wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten and one of ancient Egypt's most iconic and mysterious queens. Renowned for her beauty, power, and influence, Nefertiti's reign during the 14th century BCE marked a transformative period in Egyptian history, characterized by religious revolution, cultural upheaval, and artistic innovation. Yet, despite her prominence in the historical record, the mysterious disappearance of Queen Nefertiti remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. Nefertiti's rise to power began in the early years of her husband's reign, when Pharaoh Akhenaten ascended to the throne and embarked on a radical religious reform known as the Amarna period. Central to this reform was the worship of the sun disk Aten as the supreme deity, and the establishment of a new capital city at Amarna dedicated to the cult of Aten. As Akhenaten's chief consort and co-regent, Nefertiti played a pivotal role in promoting the worship of Aten and disseminating the ideology of the Amarna revolution throughout Egypt. During her tenure as queen, Nefertiti wielded unprecedented influence and authority, serving as a powerful political and religious figure alongside her husband. Her iconic depiction in ancient Egyptian art, characterized by her elegant profile, elongated neck, and distinctive crown, attests to her status as a paragon of beauty and grace, revered by both her contemporaries and future generations. Yet, despite her prominence and influence, Nefertiti's fate remains shrouded in mystery, with conflicting theories and conjectures about her ultimate destiny. The most widely accepted theory posits that Nefertiti died during the reign of her husband and was subsequently buried in a royal tomb in the Valley of the Kings. However, no conclusive evidence of her burial has ever been found, leaving her final resting place a tantalizing mystery for archaeologists and historians. Another theory suggests that Nefertiti may have outlived her husband and ruled Egypt as a pharaoh in her own right under the name Neferuaten. This theory is supported by evidence of a female ruler named Neferuaten who succeeded Akhenaten and continued his religious reforms, albeit with a more moderate approach. However, the identity of Neferuaten remains uncertain, and it is unclear whether she was indeed Nefertiti or another member of the royal family. Intriguingly, recent archaeological discoveries have reignited speculation about Nefertiti's fate, with tantalizing clues emerging from the sands of Egypt that suggest she may have been buried in a hidden chamber within the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. In 2015, a team of archaeologists led by British Egyptologist Nicholas Reeves proposed the existence of a secret chamber behind the walls of Tutankhamun's tomb, which they believed could contain the long-lost burial of Queen Nefertiti. Although subsequent investigations failed to conclusively confirm the presence of a hidden chamber within Tutankhamun's tomb, the tantalizing possibility of uncovering Nefertiti's final resting place has captured the imagination of scholars and enthusiasts alike. If Nefertiti's tomb were to be discovered, it would not only shed light on her mysterious disappearance, but also provide invaluable insights into the religious and political landscape of ancient Egypt during the Amarna period. Yet, even as the search for Nefertiti's tomb continues, her legacy endures as a symbol of female power and influence in ancient Egypt. Whether as a beautiful queen, a formidable ruler, or a strange figure lost to the sands of time, Nefertiti remains an icon of antiquity whose mystique continues to fascinate and inspire generations of admirers. As of right now, the mysterious disappearance of Queen Nefertiti remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of ancient Egypt, shrouded in speculation, intrigue, and conjecture. From her influential role in the Amarna period to her mysterious fate after the death of her husband, Nefertiti's legacy endures as a testament to the enduring allure of the ancient world and the mysteries that lie buried beneath its sands. As archaeologists continue to uncover new evidence and insights into the life and times of Queen Nefertiti, her story will continue to captivate and inspire generations to come. The mystery of Khufu's ship. After an extensive period of research and excavation, the dedicated team of scholars has successfully concluded the exhumation process for all the ancient relics belonging to the second Khufu ship, which were discovered in close proximity to the awe-inspiring Pyramid of Khufu in the majestic Giza region. Moving forward, the focus shall now shift towards the intricate processes of restoration and meticulous reassembly, ensuring the utmost care is taken to preserve the integrity and historical significance of this remarkable artifact. Once completed, the fully restored vessel will be proudly showcased at the esteemed Grand Egyptian Museum, awaiting the arrival of curious visitors. Egypt Today reports that this monumental task is the work of an Egyptian-Japanese archaeological mission, which was led by Sakuji Yoshimura, president of Japan's Higashi Nippon International University and honorary professor at Waseda University. On the Egyptian side of the project, there is Issa Zidane, the Director General of the Executive Affairs for Restoration at the Grand Egyptian Museum and the supervisor of the restoration process of the second Khufu ship. According to Zidane, the leading expert in archaeology, the team involved in the excavation process has successfully recovered a staggering collection of approximately 1,700 wooden fragments from a total of 13 distinct layers within the pit that housed the esteemed second Khufu ship. Gradually, the dedicated researchers have diligently worked on meticulously documenting and recording each of these remarkable pieces, alongside commencing their initial restoration procedures. Thus far, an impressive number of 1,343 fragments have been meticulously transferred to the renowned Grand Egyptian Museum, heralding the onset of the second phase of the comprehensive restoration process. As reported by Daily News Egypt, the Japan International Cooperation Agency has generously allocated a remarkable $3 million grant to Egypt. The purpose of this grant is to support the experts involved in the meticulous final restoration work and reassembly of the historic second Khufu ship. After the team has finished their thorough analysis to assemble the ship and all the necessary final restoration work has been completed, the second Khufu ship will be showcased alongside the first Khufu solar ship. This exhibition will take place in a brand new structure, currently under construction, specifically designed to house these historical artifacts at the Grand Egyptian Museum. The aim of this elaborate project is to provide a comprehensive and detailed display, offering visitors a deeper understanding and appreciation of these ancient vessels. Over the years, experts in the field have dedicated considerable time and effort to meticulously examine and study the ship, resulting in valuable insights and discoveries. A significant example illustrating this is the unearthing of metal hooks during the excavations of Khufu's second solar boat close to the iconic Great Pyramid of Giza in 2016. This discovery serves as concrete proof that the ancient Egyptians possessed a far more sophisticated level of technological prowess in boat construction than was previously assumed. According to a report, recent excavations near the Great Pyramid of Giza have uncovered a significant piece of wood that has provided fascinating insights into ancient Egyptian shipbuilding practices. This remarkable artifact has brought to light the earliest known evidence of metal usage in boat construction by the people dwelling along the Nile River. The archaeological findings have brought attention to circular and U-shaped metal hooks that were discovered within a boat fragment, which was originally unearthed back in 1954 by Kamal el-Malak, together with the well-known solar ship of Khufu. The presence of these metal hooks in the boat suggests a level of technological innovation and craftsmanship that was advanced for its time, shedding further light on the ancient Egyptians' skill and expertise in maritime pursuits. This discovery has significantly enriched our understanding of the history and development of shipbuilding in ancient Egypt. Both boats have remained undisturbed since the time they were interred in Giza. These remarkable vessels, commonly referred to as solar ships, were purposefully buried in excavated pits located in close proximity to royal burial sites. Scholars contend that these sacred vessels were utilized in elaborate funeral rituals, possibly as a component of the pharaoh's grand procession. Furthermore, they have been intricately linked to the ancient Egyptian belief in the transcendence to the afterlife. The preservation and unearthing of these ancient solar ships offer invaluable insights into the rich cultural and spiritual practices of ancient Egypt, shedding light on their profound reverence for the journey beyond mortality. The wooden artifact in question is characterized by its impressive dimensions, measuring 8 meters in length, approximately 25 feet, and boasting a width of 40 centimeters, around 16 inches. Additionally, its substantial thickness is measured at 4 centimeters. This remarkable piece holds significant historical value as it represents a groundbreaking discovery in the realm of ancient Egyptian naval artifacts. Notably, Mohammed Mustafa Abdelmegid, an esteemed official from the Ministry of Antiquities, highlights its unique nature as the first known example of an ancient Egyptian boat fragment that incorporates metal components. The solar vessel attributed to Khufu is not only one of the oldest, but also the largest boats from ancient times. With a remarkable length of 43 meters, or 140 feet, and a width of 5.9 meters, or 19 feet, it stands as a magnificent example of ancient shipbuilding expertise. This extraordinary vessel serves as a captivating testament to the craftsmanship of the past and the ingenuity of the builders who created it. The unearthing of ancient Egyptian boats is a relatively uncommon occurrence, although a handful of notable instances of these ceremonial vessels have been documented. The revelation and analysis of these artifacts have provided valuable insights into the construction techniques employed, revealing striking similarities to the shipbuilding methods employed for navigating the Nile. This in-depth exploration of these ancient boats has significantly enriched our understanding of their construction methodologies and shed light on the intricate processes involved in their creation. The Valley of the Golden Mummies. In the year 1996, a remarkable and astounding find took place in Egypt, leaving archaeologists in awe. During the excavation, a vast necropolis spanning an impressive 2 square miles was unearthed, revealing a collection of significant tombs hiding within its grounds. Delving further into the site, a staggering revelation awaited the explorers. 4 of the tombs, upon their discovery, contained a total of 105 mummies, meticulously preserved throughout the ages. What made this discovery even more extraordinary was the presence of exquisite golden masks adorning many of these well-preserved mummies, earning the name Valley of the Golden Mummies for this sacred cemetery. However, this initial finding was merely scratching the surface, as experts believe that the necropolis potentially harbors a staggering number of up to 10,000 mummified individuals in its hallowed grounds. The mummies, which were found at Bahariya Oasis, situated approximately 380 kilometers west of the pyramids, were unearthed by the renowned archaeologist Dr. Zahi Hawass and his team. Interestingly, the discovery of these mummies occurred in a rather fortuitous manner. It all began when a guard named Abdul Magood was engaged in a pursuit of a donkey, which unexpectedly plunged its leg into an unexpected hole in the ground. Curiosity piqued, Magood decided to take a closer look through the opening and was astounded to witness a mesmerizing sight, the shimmering glimmer of gold in the distance. Realizing the significance of this profound find, Magood knew that further investigation was necessary. However, the local antiquities inspectorate at the Bahariya Oasis lacked the means to undertake such an intensive excavation. Driven by a desire to unearth the full extent of this captivating discovery, Ashri Shaker, the director of the SCA office at Bahariya Oasis, reached out to Dr. Hawass. The esteemed archaeologist, although currently occupied with his excavations at Giza, recognized the importance of this endeavor and proceeded to entrust the preliminary survey of the area to the Antiquities Inspectorate. This initial assessment yielded remarkable results, leading to the unearthing of 4 tombs. Determined to delve deeper into this historically significant finding, Dr. Hawass made the necessary arrangements to join the expedition, allowing for a comprehensive and meticulous excavation to take place. This expansion of the excavation not only enabled a more profound understanding of the mummies, but also facilitated a deeper exploration into the cultural and historical aspects associated with them. Dr. Hawass and his team made a remarkable discovery when they unearthed 4 tombs from the year 332 BC. Inside these tombs, a total of 105 mummies were found, each belonging to one of 4 distinct categories. The gilded mummies discovered in the area were believed to be the most affluent individuals, likely comprising merchants and their families. This assumption is supported by the presence of gilded masks and chest plates adorning their mummified remains, luxury items that would have been beyond the means of the majority. Another type of mummy discovered had a distinctive appearance, being wrapped in linen and adorned with painted cartonnage on the head and upper body. The intricately painted eyes on these mummies were so realistic that they caused some excavators to feel unsettled. A third variety of mummy was found enclosed in an anthropoid coffin, a pottery coffin featuring a decorative human face. Lastly, there were linen-wrapped mummies, noticeably lacking the same level of craftsmanship as the others. These mummies were likely individuals from the lower social strata, reflecting their inadequate resources and status within society. The presence of these various mummy types offers valuable insights into the socio-economic diversity and cultural practices of the region. During the excavation process, an interesting discovery was made: the presence of family burials. In certain cases, entire families were found laid to rest together, a poignant testament to the close bonds that existed even after their passing. These family burials included what appeared to be mothers, fathers, and children, seemingly reunited in eternal slumber. An intriguing find was the burial of a female mummy, positioned with her head turned affectionately towards a male mummy, presumably her loving husband, symbolizing their enduring connection. The attention to detail in these tombs was remarkable. Masks and gilding were present, showcasing the elaborate craftsmanship of the time. The masks contained intricate religious drawings and depictions, further highlighting the importance of spirituality in ancient Egyptian culture. The faces portrayed were meticulously carved, capturing the individuality and uniqueness of each mummy. Apart from the mummies themselves, the excavation team, led by Dr. Hawass, unearthed a plethora of fascinating artifacts. These artifacts provided a glimpse into the daily lives and adornments of the deceased. Pottery, bracelets, earrings, and coins were among the discoveries, each telling its own story. The diverse materials used in the jewelry, such as silver, copper, bronze, faience, and ivory, reflected the wealth and variety of resources available during that era. Of particular interest were the clay statuettes depicting women as mothers, symbolizing fertility and the nurturing role they played in society. These statuettes served as tangible representations of the desire for continued prosperity and the perpetuation of family lineage. Additionally, the tombs housed statues of mourners, meticulously placed to forever mourn the passing of the deceased. These statues were a poignant reminder of the enduring grief and the communal respect for the deceased among the ancient Egyptians. Among the smaller artifacts discovered were delicate glass vessels. The cemetery has yielded a staggering number of over 200 mummies since its initial excavation. Although the lack of inscriptions poses a challenge in identifying each individual mummy, this remarkable discovery has shed significant light on the Romanized Egyptian culture and their intriguing burial practices. The varying methods of mummification observed underscore the social status from which each mummy originated, while the intricate details found on their masks and gilding testify to the meticulous care taken in ensuring a dignified and proper burial for the deceased. It is truly astonishing to think that had it not been for a fortuitous event in 1996, when a donkey fell through the sand, these captivating mummies could have remained concealed beneath the ground indefinitely. Contemplating the vastness of ancient civilizations, it becomes evident that there is an abundance of yet undiscovered treasures, possibly lying just beneath the very surface we tread upon. This realization further deepens our appreciation for the rich and enigmatic history that surrounds us. The mystery site of Cleopatra. The life and demise of Cleopatra were filled with such vivid and extraordinary events that they nearly border on the realm of fiction. This remarkable aspect of her existence did not go unnoticed by renowned literary figures like William Shakespeare, who showcased her story in Antony and Cleopatra, and George Bernard Shaw, who explored her relationship with Caesar in Caesar and Cleopatra. Throughout the course of centuries, Cleopatra has continued to captivate the minds of numerous artists and creators. Her influence spans across various forms of media, including film, stage plays, opera, and in more recent times, she has managed to attract new audiences through television, advertising, and even video games. Currently, there is an exciting development that has reignited the optimism surrounding our quest to uncover the long-awaited burial site of Queen Cleopatra, the renowned final ruler of ancient Egypt. However, we must first delve into the captivating life of this influential figure and explore the intriguing possibility of her active involvement in shaping her own historical narrative. Queen Cleopatra, whose exact resting place has eluded scholars and archaeologists for centuries, is now the subject of renewed interest and research. Her legacy, which continues, it is widely held that Emperor Augustus granted permission for Cleopatra to be interred alongside her partner, Mark Antony, which brings to light the perception of her, even among her adversaries. Additionally, it can be reasonably assumed that, in accordance with her esteemed position as a pharaoh, both Cleopatra and Mark Antony underwent the process of mummification, a preservation technique that involves desiccating the human remains to prevent decomposition. This practice, prevalent in ancient Egypt, emphasizes the reverence and significance attributed to their roles as rulers. The decision to allow her children to be spared and raised as Roman citizens further underscores the intriguing and complex narrative surrounding Cleopatra's legacy. By exploring these historical details, we gain a deeper understanding of the multifaceted nature of Cleopatra's life and the prevailing attitudes towards her. The process of desiccation, which involved removing most of the internal organs without damaging the external appearance of the cadaver, was accomplished through the generous application of a salt-like compound known as natron. This substance was chosen for its exceptional hygroscopic properties, enabling it to efficiently absorb moisture from the body. To ensure that the external appearance remained intact, certain measures were taken. For instance, the brain was carefully extracted through the nostrils to prevent any disfigurement, while a discreet incision was made on the side of the body to remove the internal organs, excluding the heart, which the ancient Egyptians believed held the key to the afterlife. This meticulous embalming process could last up to a staggering 70 days, involving painstaking attention to detail and precision. These vital organs were traditionally handled in two ways during ancient Egyptian burial practices. One method involved carefully placing them inside canopic jars, which were then interred alongside the deceased. Alternatively, the organs were preserved externally and then reinserted into the body cavity. Following these procedures, the body would be meticulously swathed in linen bandages. It would then be consigned to a final resting place within a tomb, accompanied by a collection of possessions deemed important for the afterlife. The exact whereabouts of Cleopatra's tomb has been a subject of debate among experts. Initially, there was a belief, proposed by renowned Egyptologist and former Minister of State for Antiquities Affairs, Zahi Hawass, that her tomb could be found just beyond the borders of ancient Egypt's bustling capital, Alexandria. According to this theory, Cleopatra's final resting place was thought to be beneath the Taposiris Magna Temple, which is more commonly referred to as the Great Tomb of Osiris. In 2019, the credibility of Hawass's claim was further reinforced when additional evidence emerged. This evidence came in the form of significant findings made by Dr. Kathleen Martinez, an Egyptologist and minister counselor in charge of cultural affairs at the Dominican Embassy in Egypt. These findings included the unearthing of mummies, as well as the discovery of intricately crafted figurines depicting the goddess Isis and coins adorned with the images of Cleopatra and Antony. These discoveries occurred in close proximity to the previously mentioned tomb site. Interestingly, a surprising twist occurred when Hawass retracted his previous hypothesis regarding the location of the tomb. Initially, he had put forth the idea that the tomb was situated beneath the Great Tomb of Osiris. However, he later claimed that ancient Egyptians utilized temples primarily for religious worship and not as burial grounds. In early November 2022, Kathleen Martinez made an intriguing announcement regarding the discovery of a significant underground tunnel, approximately 6 feet tall and running about 43 feet beneath the esteemed Great Tomb of Osiris. This remarkable find, stretching for almost a mile, has sparked speculation that it could potentially serve as the elusive entrance to Cleopatra's tomb. However, it is important to consider an alternate possibility, as there is evidence suggesting that this tunnel might actually be an aqueduct, resembling the dimensions of the Tunnel of Eupalinos, an ancient 6th century BC aqueduct located in Samos, Greece. Furthermore, it is worth noting that a part of the temple tunnel appears to be submerged beneath the mysterious depths of the Mediterranean Sea. While this submerged portion does not discredit the potential connection to Cleopatra's tomb, it does add an enigmatic element to the discovery. The presence of localized artifacts, previously mentioned, lends credibility to the belief that there may indeed be some truth to the notion of a figurative light at the end of the tunnel. However, it is essential to acknowledge a small caveat regarding this finding. While the exciting prospect of uncovering Cleopatra's tomb remains enticing, further investigation and exploration are necessary to ascertain the true nature and purpose of this tunnel. The comprehensive examination of related facts and careful analysis of any future discoveries will undoubtedly contribute to enriching our understanding of this fascinating archaeological endeavor. Dr. Martinez openly acknowledges the cunning intellect exhibited by Cleopatra, affirming that she managed to outsmart everyone by ensuring that her and Mark Antony's mortal remains were concealed from the Romans and their descendants for all eternity. Cleopatra's intelligence is undeniable, as she possessed the remarkable ability to converse fluently in 9 languages, along with a deep understanding of politics and mathematics. Furthermore, she skillfully formed alliances with some of the most influential figures in the ancient world. However, Cleopatra's astuteness extended beyond her intellectual prowess. She carefully crafted a desired perception of herself during her lifetime, aiming to be regarded as a beautiful deity. So, what do you make of these Egyptian mysteries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comments section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.